viewers, my name is Ahmed and today I'm going to explain lesson 2 till 6, highlighting the various aspects of leadership, its history, its application within a workplace. In addition, I'll be speaking about the impact of leadership on the world and the differences between management and leadership. Leadership in business, at its core, is defined as the ability to influence employees at an organization to achieve their goals and objectives efficiently and allow others to contribute towards the best outcome. A leader should have certain traits and abilities, such as intelligence, charisma, and the ability to take charge of an event. Usually, the leadership process is interactive and changeable. It is not based on designation, but rather depends on the situation, as many times it has been seen that leaders change due to certain abilities and mentality to take control of certain situations. Each leader has the ability in a particular situation to influence others and make them follow. This allows the leader role to be available to everyone.
The concept of power is directly related to leadership, as it allows the individual with power to influence their followers. There are different types of power that exist. Referent power is the power based on the identification and liking of the followers towards their leader. An example of that would be students liking their professors. Expert power is based on the perception of the followers towards their leader's competence and intelligence. An example of that would be tour guides and the knowledge of their country. Legitimate power refers to power held due to having authority or status, such as a judge overseeing and giving judgment in the courtroom. Reward power is the ability and capacity of the leader to give rewards to their followers, like a director who gives bonuses to their employees after a hard work. Coercive power is the ability of a leader to influence their followers to change their behavior or to follow a certain path by punishment and intimidation, such as a general giving punishment to his soldiers for disobeying orders. Information power refers to the leader's possession of knowledge that the followers would require, such as a manager's knowledge of an industry that allows them to have better trade secrets. There are differences between leaders and managers. The difference between leadership and management lies in the ability of producing change and drive. While managers mainly focus on order and consistency, a leader sets a direction, creates a vision, and builds team. Leaders also motivate their followers into achieving their goals, while a manager focuses on planning, allocation of resources, organizing, creating structures, and other aspects of controlling and solving problems. The trait of a leader is changeable due to environmental changes and culture, which decides how a leader reacts to circumstances given and his ability to lead and influence others. The concept of leadership goes back to ancient times and is still discussed and debated throughout the modern era. The classical leadership of ancient time focuses more on the conduct of war and the conduct of politics. Many famous figures throughout history have different points of view when it comes to leadership due to different cultural backgrounds and what factors affected in their lives. In the famous book, Art of War, it highlights the leader's ability to control themselves, and having high emotional intelligence enables the leaders to influence others. In addition, the ability to adapt to the environment is crucial to the leader, as it highlights the leadership's strength and hides the leader's weakness. Also, to have a solid principle and stick by them without fear of punishment shows discipline and allows the follower to look at their leader more fondly and sets a solid ground on how the followers should act and think. Plato, a Greek mathematician and philosopher on the other hand, thought that the wise shall rule and ignorant people should follow, and each person should do what he is good at. In addition, he viewed that leaders should break away from ignorance and rise above it, differentiating him from others through intelligence. He also believed that the wisest and most courageous should be allowed to lead, as they are called upon by their duties, not due to any hidden agenda that allows them to have personal gain. Aristotle, a famous Greek philosopher, viewed leadership as the ability to influence and persuade others, that the leader should have the art of persuasion, and the leader's ability to make arguments and convince followers is a crucial for an effective leadership. Machiavelli, an Italian diplomat and philosopher, suggested that leaders should have the ability to be sly and cunning, and use deception to gain influence, and focus on the end, as for him it justifies the mean. His work coined the term Machiavellianism, which focuses on the art of manipulation, being cold, straightforward, and the ability to feel indifferent to morality. Modern leadership, as T.W. Taylor says, focuses on knowledge at the expense of the workforce, being the key aspect of leadership, and the ability of leaders to use their knowledge to achieve power over production. It also highlights the process of completing tasks so that it can be consistent to achieve efficiency. An example of that would be Fordism, which is a term used to describe a process in which it uses mass production by the use of assembly line technology, to which allows division between the time and motion management. Mass movements are very common nowadays by social media influencers or political parties, which highlights the influence of the masses by appointing a charismatic leader to manipulate others in order to achieve a related party's agenda. Leadership theories are categorized into 4 theories: trait theory, contingent theory, situational theory, and constitutive theory. I'll start off trait theory, which essentially discusses how a leader is born with certain traits and qualities others look for that allows him to take a leadership role. It highlights how leaders with relation to trait theory are great people, and the context of the events does not matter if the high quality traits exists within a leader. These qualities or traits that exist sets them apart from others, such as intelligence, charisma, confidence, and ambitiousness. However, the argument made against trait theory is that people who are leaders in certain situations may not be leaders in others, and that no group of traits can realistically make people leaders and others not. This theory just highlights certain qualities people look for in a leader, in my opinion. Situational leadership focuses on the individual ability to adapt in certain situations, which allows them to take on a leadership role. In order to be a leader in this theory, you need to change your style to fit the circumstances that require you to be a leader. It highlights who is the leader does not matter, but rather the skills required in a certain circumstance that enables the person to become a leader. Contingency leadership argues that both the person and the situation does not matter, but rather that leadership is the adaptation to the followers being led, the culture, the tasks, and the position in which the leader is in. This theory helps the leader learn that they cannot be effective all the time, and some delegation of duties is required for the best outcome. You can see this type of leadership common in the Roman days, where emperors or consuls constantly require adaptation, or else they will be assassinated or their throne usurped. However, some of the criticism discusses how leaders can find it hard to assess a situation, as there are many factors involved, and if the leadership change, the subordinates may react negatively. Constitutive theory assumes that there is no one way to know which theory is correct and enables a person to lead. It also argues that there isn't any possibility to know a context well enough to judge if a context is sufficient to determine leadership. It also argues that leadership is objective and that many factors that take place can change, such as environmental, economic, and political, and there is no clear way of defining leadership. There are 4 types of leadership: transformational leadership, servant leadership, authentic leadership, and responsible leadership. Transformational leadership is the ability of the leader to instill inspiration in their followers and allows them to conduct changes that is more than what they normally would do. It highlights the leader's ability to influence the followers' ethics, values, and emotions to create a vision and actively transform their society or groups. It changes the way society makes their decision and moral values. One term that is coined under this theory to leaders who negatively impact society are pseudo-transformational leadership, which is a leader who focuses on his agenda and gains, be it financial or political, with disregard to the followers' well-being or interests. Servant leadership is the ability to pay attention to the followers' needs, help them overcome their issues, and empower them. It's a moral form of leadership. This type of leadership is mainly related to morality and ethics and the ability of the leader to always look out for the greater good of society. It refers to high ethics and to always look out for the needs of everyone. Authentic leadership is the focus on the leadership being real and true, and not an act hidden behind a political or a financial agenda. It is increasing in our time due to corruption and unethical behaviors of businessmen and politicians alike. This type of leadership has three main points of view. Intrapersonal perspective, which is leadership that focuses on the leader's self-knowledge, discipline, and self-concept. Interpersonal perspective highlights how leadership is created by leaders and followers together. It is a combination of both the effort of the leader and the response from their followers as both parties affect each other. Developmental perspective is how the sense of leadership is nurtured within a leader and not leading by a fixed trait. In addition, it views leadership as a pattern in which the leader has a positive mindset and strong ethical background that is solid. Responsible leadership is based on value and how the relationship between a leader and their followers is connected through a sense of meaning and purpose which both parties commit to and share motivation with each other to achieve values and social positive changes. It addresses the nature and challenges that both the leader and the follower is responsible for. It has mainly two perspectives. Responsible leaderships for performance, which highlights how being a responsible leader creates optimum performance, which allows the society to develop and progress. Or a responsible leadership in a stakeholder society, which means everyone is involved in progression of their society and its environment.
The media nowadays form a huge part of leadership, as it can glorify or cancel an individual in power. It creates an outlet where information is controlled and manipulated by the masses into creating ideas or acting against their interests. However, through corruption, it allows leaders to easily manipulate others into achieving certain hidden agendas and to hide certain traits that society may deem as not leadership worthy. The impact of leadership through mankind's history has always had an importance, and people always look to the person with charisma and aligned views to lead them towards an objective. Will it be a business environment or a day-to-day basis? It encourages change and realizing full potential of an individual or a group. In addition, leadership inspires certain ideas, whether it's negative or positive, to achieve its potential. Having a leader helps create a vision and to make that vision a reality, therefore allowing mankind to progress and create a sense of achievement.